As various media reported, the average electricity price in Finland briefly dropped into negative territory on May 24, 2023. The new Olkiluoto 3 nuclear power plant in southwestern Finland even had to reduce its electricity production. Some proponents of nuclear power felt that this confirmed their support for nuclear power plants in terms of energy transition and CO2 emissions. But what is the real story behind this? If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave us a like. Finland, with government support, has increasingly focused on nuclear energy rather than primarily relying on renewable sources. On April 16, 2023, a new nuclear reactor named Olkiluoto 3 commenced operations at the Urajoki site, becoming Europe's first new nuclear power plant in 1.5 decades. The reactor is designed to produce electricity for at least 60 years. Construction began in 2005 and was initially expected to cost around €3 billion, with completion scheduled for 2009 according to a plan from 1995. In reality, the construction took approximately 18 years and consumed around €11 billion, almost 4 times the initial estimate. The nuclear power plant has a capacity of 1,600 megawatts, making it the third most powerful electricity generation facility in the world. It can cater to up to 15% of Finland's electricity demand. Together with the other 2 reactor units, Olkiluoto 1 and -2, which began operations in the early 1980s, approximately 30% of Finland's electricity is produced. Additionally, Finland's nuclear waste repository, Onkalo, was established in close proximity to the power plant. Olkiluoto 3 is the 5th nuclear power plant in Finland, but it was not intended to be the last. However, the plans for a 6th nuclear power plant were abandoned due to it being a collaboration with the Russian state corporation Rosatom. The Russian aggression against Ukraine put an end to this project and also halted Finnish energy imports from Russia. The fact that the Finnish company Fortum continues to import uranium fuel rods from Russia through Rosatom until at least 2030 is rarely discussed in public, while German gas imports from Russia have been criticized. This demonstrates the significant level of trust that the Finnish population has in nuclear power. Due to the unfinished nuclear power plant in the Ukraine conflict, Finland faced an energy crisis. In December 2022, the country's 5.5 million residents prepared for power outages and reduced electricity consumption due to the high demand for heating. Electricity prices were the highest in Europe. With the commissioning of the new Finnish nuclear power plant, electricity prices dropped by 75%. In December 2022, the price for 1 megawatt-hour was around €246, but by April 2023, it had decreased to only €60.55. In May 2023, the electricity price in Finland briefly dropped into negative territory. This is partly due to the sudden increase in the share of renewable energy in the electricity mix. During periods of surplus production, grid operators typically force the reduction of easily adjustable power generators. In Finland, the regulation of the renewable energy share in the grid is primarily done through hydroelectric power plants, by adjusting the water flow into their turbines. However, these plants could not be further reduced due to the melting of glaciers and subsequent floods in northern Finland, and instead, they were operating at full capacity. The problem now was not electricity scarcity but rather that the costs of electricity generation were higher than the electricity prices. While the low electricity price may seem positive for consumers, it was not desirable for the power producers. Energy providers had to give away electricity for almost nothing or even incur losses. The temporary drop in electricity prices into negative territory was also due to the inflexible nature of nuclear power plants. Since the operators of these plants were unable to quickly reduce the costly operation of the power plants and take the unprofitable production off the market, they had to pay for their own production and suffered losses. The nuclear power plants could only be scaled back slowly, and reducing the operation of hydroelectric power plants in favor of the profitability of nuclear power plants would have led to further devastating floods. Regulating Finnish nuclear energy will likely occur more frequently in the future due to the increasing share of renewable energy. The low operating costs of renewable energy facilities alone reduce the electricity price, which was perhaps not anticipated in the plan for the newest Finnish nuclear power plant, considering its 14-year delay in commissioning. Finland has experienced a complex energy landscape marked by nuclear power, renewable energy sources, and challenges related to electricity prices and supply. The construction and delayed completion of Olkiluoto 3, the country's newest nuclear power plant, brought both benefits and drawbacks. While nuclear power has provided a significant share of Finland's electricity generation, the inflexibility of nuclear plants and the increasing prominence of renewable energy sources have posed challenges in terms of market dynamics and operational adjustments. The shift towards a higher share of renewable energy, driven by the need for decarbonization and energy transition, has presented opportunities for clean and sustainable electricity production. However, it has also led to occasional negative electricity prices and the need for better flexibility in managing the electricity grid. As Finland navigates its energy landscape, it will continue to balance the advantages and limitations of different energy sources, aiming to meet its energy needs while striving for environmental sustainability and carbon neutrality.